We have to do it with a calm and relaxed mind. Yes, do it in a context where your mind is clear and at ease. But for us to make our mind clear and at ease without worrying about things that are worrisome, we won't be worried about those things. They won't become worries. Only when, yes, we calm our minds so that we don't worry. But for us to truly make our minds free from worry, the main principle that the Venerable Teacher uses is we have to awaken the Buddha nature within ourselves. I use the word awaken, To awaken the Buddha nature means that by our very essence, by our true nature, by our origin, by our original state, all of us are already Buddhas. Fradej Frakun Longpor Racheo said that we are the Buddha, and the Buddha is us. He also said that this idea that we are the Buddha and the Buddha is us depends on how much we are able to realize it according to our own readiness. For those who start with just a feeling, begin with that feeling first. That feeling will eventually transform into true understanding. Or you can start with a conceptual understanding first. All right, starting with a conceptual understanding will eventually transform into liberation. But for those who have practiced until they are skilled and proficient, until it becomes one familiar and natural, the Buddha said you have to make it familiar. The feeling that we are the Buddha and the Buddha is us, we need to get used to that. Once we're used to it, it's second nature. Once it's second nature, it's one and the same. In truth, we are already one with Him, we're just not familiar with it yet. In our thoughts, words, and actions, we need to keep bringing this to mind. Start from the feeling, and that feeling will gradually transform into clear understanding, making it truly familiar to us. The Venerable Teacher also uses this approach, because when I heard the elders, like Luangpor, say, "We are the Buddha is us," I still didn't understand. There was a time he asked, "When you sleep, are you still a person?" I answered, "Yes, I am Luangpor." Then he asked, "But are you aware you are a person?" I said, "No, I'm not aware because I'm asleep. But am I still a person?" "Yes, I am." He then said, "Being a monk is the same way, my child. You see, we already are, but we're not awake, we're not aware. That's why, to make every problem in our lives something we don't worry about, even though it's something that could be worrisome, we won't worry as long as we know who we are. If we are mindful and aware, we can awaken the monk within ourselves. You see, it's like we're already standing above every situation. When we're alone, we're not lonely. When we're in solitude, we're not desolate. When things are chaotic, we're not distracted. When we're in seclusion, it's not gloomy. That's because we are monks. Monks are us." I must also pay my respects and express my gratitude to another great benefactor who helped show me the way, and that is Kunda Warn. Yes, Kunda Warn. Kunda Warn came to our village, Whenever I had doubts or questions, I discussed Dhamma with him. One incident really clarified things for me. At that time, I led a meditation retreat at Wang Nam Kiao. I was still at Khao Keo Cottage, but we also organized Dhamma practice sessions at Wang Nam Kiao. On Saturdays, I'd bring people to make merit by offering robes for the Kathina ceremony for Phra Supachak. Even now, we still have the Kathina robe offering every Saturday. That was in 2014, the year 2557 in the Buddhist calendar. I started to feel that the teachings of our revered Luangpor were really becoming true for me. For example, he taught that if your mind is clear and pure, whatever you do will succeed. If your mind is centered at the seventh base, things will go smoothly and easily. In the past, I used to be a very impatient person. I used to be impatient because I thought that being impatient would get me what I wanted. But as time went by, I realized that being hot-tempered didn't actually get me anywhere. So I decided it was better to become a calm person instead. Being impatient just wasn't working anymore, so I gradually started to calm down. And once I did, the things I used to think were difficult became easy, and the things I thought I couldn't achieve, I actually could. There were many such events that happened in my life. Yeah. The teaching from Luangpur that always stays with me is this: if we are monks and monks are us, whatever we want, we can get everything. Really? Back then, I didn't get it yet. Like, what do you call it? You have to prove it with results, right? Because I hadn't gotten it yet, so I didn't have, what do you call it? Any inspiration to go to the temple, to meditate, or to really keep my mind focused for long periods. So at that time, I just listened to it as a concept. Why? Because my own experience hadn't reached that point yet. People who have attained the Dhammakaya all seem like the same kind of person, and I didn't really get it. I'd hear it and just let it pass by, hear it and let it pass by, stuff like that. But as I gained more and more experience, everything started to become clearer and clearer. When your mind is clear, the blessings just start flowing in. Back when the blessings weren't coming, I kept trying, but nothing worked. I didn't have the motivation to keep going, so things just weren't consistent. Luangpur said it's like plotting a graph, you know? It's like a straight line which is made up of many points. But if we plot those points so that they're continuous, so that they continue, then it becomes a straight line. That's how it works. Practicing Dhamma is just like that too. We have to start doing it first. Whenever we remember, we just mark a point, right? If we forget, it's okay. There's no need to get upset or irritated. When we remember again, we just keep doing it, keep going, and eventually it will become more and more continuous. So just keep doing it little by little. Once you start doing it, the teaching that the main character mentioned, that Luangpur Dhamma once taught us that we are already monks, right? That's when I started to wonder, like, is it true? Are we really already like that? Because why? Because I started to see results, you know? I started to see the outcomes for myself. So I made a wish, right? So I wished that if this body and this mind are already the Dhammakaya monk, can I have just one group? This really fits with the Cathan festival atmosphere, doesn't it? Let me have one Cathan offering. If I get it, I'll believe without any conditions or doubts. I'm making a wish right now. I am the monk is me, I am the monk is me. Now, as for frosation, the monk in the first level of saffron robes, that's just a designation, that's all. Sation. Well, my mother wanted to have a child named Sation, so she named me Sation. But in essence, by nature, by the elements, by the Dhamma, we are already Dhammakaya monks, you know. I try, what do you call it? I try to connect and do self-talk to give myself confidence, to lift my spirits like, hey, we already are, we already are, we already are. I try to convince myself, to transform myself from someone who never thought I was. But I gradually started to understand through the teachings of the Venerable Masters. It slowly became clearer. The path slowly lit up. Oh, yeah, I started to get it, but in my heart, I believed, but deep down, I still hadn't seen any results, you know? I still hadn't seen any results. But if I could just get one batch, just one full batch of them, and offer it in cash to Luangpor's merit. Just once, I think it would really boost my confidence a lot. So I made a wish at that time. In 2014, I made a wish, so that day was a Friday. After finishing meditation practice on Friday, Saturday and Sunday were the Kathan ceremony days. If I had 1 million baht, I would offer it to Luangpor Damajeo myself. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps, you know? I would believe without any money, without any conditions or requirements. That's what I did. Being a monk, being myself when I have a good thought or idea. So, as soon as I had that thought, I just went ahead and said it out loud. I called whoever I needed to, talked to this person and that person, and just did things the way I normally do. Whenever I have a good idea or a positive thought, I just follow through with it like this. So when Sunday came, the monk gathered up the donations that everyone had contributed, and wow, it was over 1 million baht. Over 1 million baht. Amazing. I was so happy, so thrilled that I completely forgot what I had even wished for. Yeah, I was so happy that I totally forgot, you know? After we completed the Kathan ceremony and offered the Kathan funds to the Venerable Abbot, everything was done. The Kathan was finished. And, well, I had made a vow that if I could complete this Kathan fund, I would believe without any doubts or conditions at all. But as soon as I thought of those words, is it really that easy? Is it really just that simple? Just by thinking that we're a monk, that we've become one, does it really work like that? Doubt and skepticism started to creep in again. Even though I had already made a vow that if it worked, I would believe without any conditions. But when it actually happened, I started doubting again. So, in reality, this is something that the teacher might have told many of you before, but every time the teacher tells this story, he always feels deeply moved. And for those who haven't heard it yet, now you'll get to hear it too. At that time, I thought that there were only two people who could clear up my doubts. One was a revered monk, and the other was just one person. As for the monk, I probably wouldn't have the chance to get close or ask him anything. But with that one person, I still had a chance because I could still walk past the front door and see him. So I walked from the Dhammakaya International Meditation Hall, walking with determination in my heart. I was, really curious. I wanted to know, to ask, to have a conversation. So I walked over there. As soon as I arrived, because I couldn't contact them, I didn't have their line, didn't know them personally. So I stood there quietly, focusing my mind at the center of my body, trying to feel I was the monk. The monk was me, embodying it. It's like creating context, believing I was that. In truth, I was the Dhammakaya monk. My mind still at the center of my body. I asked, please come out and see me. Curious, I asked to clear my doubts. After that, in less than 10 minutes, Brother the Warren came out. As soon as he came out, there was no small talk. He got straight to the point. So, what is it, brother? What are you curious about? Tell me, and I'll explain it to you. So I told him, yeah, let me explain. This is what happened, brother. And then I actually received an offering from a shop. Is it really possible for something like this to happen? Or was it bound to happen anyway? Or what exactly caused it? And then he said, well, since right now your older brother he has already found peace, right? So May I respectfully offer this story as a Dhamma gift. I hope it doesn't bother anyone. Then he asked, "So what did you do, Venerable?" Well, I thought to myself, I never really prepared for this question. What did I actually do? Then I realized I just made myself feel that I was a monk, that being a monk was truly who I was, and I genuinely believed it. And then whenever good thoughts or good ideas came up while my mind was clear and bright, I would think of myself as already being a Dhammakaya monk, This being, I focused on my own sense of being. If we're talking about deep meditation practice or anything like that, I set all of it aside. At that time, it was purely a feeling. It was just a feeling, not even self-awareness yet. Just that sense that I already was. Then good thoughts and ideas would pop up, and I would think along those lines, speak accordingly, and act on them. So he said something to me, just one sentence, but it was clear. He told me, "Venerable Na, raise your hand. If you have enough mindfulness and self-awareness that what you think, say, and do as a monk is not really you." I'll just leave it at that. I'd like to keep that word to myself. I'll just leave it at that. Okay? If anyone wants to know what that word is, if you've watched this video or heard me tell this story, you can come and ask me in person, all right? Because if I say that word out loud, it might, there would be even greater wealth flowing in than before. So I thought, oh, that means I made myself feel like I was a monk. Being a monk, like the senior monk said, the abbot told the young monks, right? Thoughts that came up, I considered them, spoke, and acted on them. Let it be. Keep going with it, right? I asked the senior monk, he said, "Yes, that's right. We are monks. Monks are us. Let it be." If it's the senior monk himself, whenever he lets it be, it all falls apart. If it's the senior monk, it means we're clinging, holding on to the idea of me and mine, thinking it's really us. That's not being a Dhammakaya monk. Everything falls apart. If we can still keep our mind steady so that we are the monk and the monk is us, clear, pure thoughts of a monk, we speak and act. We can let it be. Today, this is considered a Dhamma talk that I wanted to share with everyone. I think everyone who listened is probably happy and uplifted by the merit. For those who listened and still don't understand or aren't happy yet, just try to turn it into happiness, okay? Because I'm sharing this with pure sincerity, from the heart to the heart. We've come to this year's Kathan ceremony. I'm here to help out. I'm not an administrator or leader, nor do I hold any official position. I focus on doing things myself. I don't have position, but I focus on doing things myself. I rely on fact that I have physical body and breath. And the goals that the community and the teachers have instilled and taught me over the past 30 years as a monk, I would like to dedicate all of this to Buddhism. So, I would like to invite all of you, the devotees, to join us at Thudong Kasathan Kongkralit, where we will hold the Kathan ceremony on October 26th. At Thudong Buddhist Center in Thung Salam, we will hold the Kathan ceremony on October 12th. Thung Salam will have their ceremony first. We will end the Buddhist Lent around the 7th or 8th, and then at Thung Salam, we will hold the Kathan ceremony right away on the 12th. And then on the 26th, there will be about a 2-week gap before we hold the next Kathan ceremony at Kasathan Kongkralit. The ceremonies are quite similar. In the morning, around 8 a.m., we will start by offering alms of rice and dry food. Then, at about 9 or 9:30 a.m., after we finish offering alms and have our meal at around 9:30, we will form a procession to respectfully carry the Cathan robes to the center of our ceremony. Then at about 10 or 10:30, we will practice meditation, and at 10:30, we will proceed with the main ritual. I think everything should be finished before noon, probably around 11 or 11:30. If anyone still wants to go join a Cathan ceremony somewhere else in the afternoon, you can travel after this. But in the morning, come and join us to make merit together first. As for this year's Cathan at the Donkasathan Concrelas, we are truly dedicated. Last year, we were already determined to build a village and accommodations here. For the monks and lay people who come to practice Dhamma, these are A-frame houses, each with its own bathroom, 3 sizes, about 3 beds in each of the 22 houses. It's a Dhamma practice village. Yeah. Luang Por Damajeo is 82 years old. Luang Por Damajeo, yes, he intended to build about 22 houses just in case. Whether we can or can't, that's not the point. The intention is to have a place for monks and novices who are ordained every month to stay and train. Yeah, and it's also for lay people who come to practice Dhamma. The plan is to use the donations and offerings we receive to build this place. Last year, we went to pioneer at Nafang Salayam, and we used these funds to help the younger ones have a building. We managed to build a permanent structure first. Now, at Thang Salayam, we have a permanent building and a restroom pavilion. This year, we're working on the second floor. The second floor, the flooring is already finished, and we're currently polishing and smoothing it out. We're also extending the building further. The side extension is about 10 sak, which is roughly 5 meters. Including the eaves, it's about 6 meters. At the front and back, there's another span of 6 meters, and with the eaves, it's a bit over 7 meters. The plan is, well, since at Thang Salayam it rains quite a lot, especially during the rainy season, because it's up in the mountains close to the forest and near the hills. Sometimes when it rains, it feels like it just won't stop. But when it does stop, the sun comes out blazing with no sign that it was just raining. That's the kind of atmosphere here. So the monk decided to focus on building a large building first so that when it rains or there's thunder, or when the sun comes out, we can still do activities inside this building. So this year we're focusing on building a permanent 2-story building. We're making it 2 floors, and we've decided that this year that's what we're going to build. We're going to hold the Cathan ceremony on the 2nd floor in the heavenly realm of Tavatimsa. Yeah, so it's like a 2nd level Cathan, right? It's like the Tavatimsa heaven level. So I'd like to invite and bless all the meritorious people, both humans and deities, those of high status, Tiva, Kautho Tiva, Kaufo Tiva, Kaupa, to come and help build this meditation center so it can support the spiritual practice of all the meritorious people in Sukhothai. Right now, we've already built 20. That's our intention. Yeah, that's the intention, and I have to say, I've made a solemn vow about this too. But whether I can actually do it or not, whether it will be onward or not, my goal is to have a Dhutanga center in every district, all 9 districts. Right now, we've got 2 already, so there are 7 left. If I don't pass away before then, I really want to accomplish this. So now, I'm asking for the flow of resources, for wealth and faith to pour in continuously. To all virtuous supporters in Sukhothai province, neighboring provinces, and to all monks and lay people worldwide, as well as the global public who have participated in this Kathina ceremony, may I extend my blessings and rejoice in your merit. With the merit and spiritual power I, as a monk, have accumulated over 30 rainy seasons, may it bring blessings, protection, and safeguarding for everyone, so you may have happiness both physically and mentally, enjoy robust health and well-being, and prosper with longevity. May you be endowed with strength, intelligence, and abundant wealth. May you gain the eye of Dhamma, attain the Dhammakaya, and have clear insight into its knowledge. May cannot, do not have, and fail never exist on your path. May you know only can, have, and succeed until you reach the ultimate goal of Dhamma.